What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another backtesting video. We're going to be doing a random month, or a random month from 2023. We're going to use a random number generator to pick which month. I don't think I've done a lot of 2023 months, and if I accidentally redo one, oh well. But this is the way that I think is best to do it. I also am going to stop doing the prop firm challenges on FX Replay because I feel like whenever I do it, my videos end up becoming very short. So this is probably better for like longer videos. I'm trying to fix my mic because people complain that I'm quiet. But yeah, I'm gonna generate a random number. I'm gonna do that month. I'm just gonna do a couple of trades since I'm not gonna be passing a challenge or anything, and then the video will end. But yeah, 6. So what? That's like what, June? All right, June 2-3. Go to YouTube. Okay. All right. So 2023. June. Okay, hold on, let me take my socks off for this. All right, so fuck you. All right, so let's go the hourly. Sorry, I had to get everything set up. So what do we see on the 4-hour? On the 4-hour, we are very, very bullish. We are not at all-time highs, but a thing that I do notice with draws that are from like this far back. So if you guys notice, this is from 2022. If you guys are thinking about liquidity in terms of like orders, I doubt that there are any orders up here. I will still use this level, just because it's all that I have to use. But if we are talking in terms of liquidity, I doubt that that is a valid level to use. But there's nothing else that I can do. So what I'm going to do is just use that. And then if I'm going to go lower, I'm going to retrace into this 4-hour condition. And on the hourly, we're looking the exact same. 15-minute, we're inversing this bearish gap. And then on the 5-minute, we really have nothing. The only thing I am going to mark out here is this. I feel like that's the point that we're going to pass if we are going to be bearish. So let's see what happens. That looks extremely good. I will just go ahead. The only thing is, can I get a 1-to-1? I can't, but there was another level that if I'm gonna do it like this, I might as well just do it right. So I will. What? Am I dumb? What just happened? I just marked that out. Where is it at? Am I? What? Y'all, I really hope you guys are seeing what is happening to me, but whatever. This is the trade that I am willing to take. I will go ahead and market order this. Okay, I'm gonna go break even there after tapping that 1-minute condition. We should not need to go any lower. Okay, I'm gonna trail down to the range low out of the reaction, out of that condition. And we end up getting completely reversed on, which is completely fine, right? If you're going to get reverse on, we're going to be rejecting these highs. That's pretty much what happened. We started rejecting right here, and we did not end up delivering to the first draw. That's kind of what I'm saying about how I don't trust draws that are literally from years and years. I don't think they were strong, but I have not found a different way to do this, so that's what I'm going to do. I am curious on to see if the market continues bearish, or if it's just going to chop. Yeah. So after that, it's pretty much just falling back into that higher time frame range. Okay, now we're on the 4-hour. I'm looking at that same high right here. We are starting to inverse this condition on the higher time frame, and then we did fill that pretty quickly. So I am just going to look for that high. Same thing here. I probably will go break even around there. And then if I'm going to go lower, I'm going to go all the way to the range low, I'd assume. 15 minutes not really telling me anything, but I will use this gap to confirm me wanting to go lower. If we're going to run through that, we're probably just going to go to that low. And then other than that, there's really nothing. The higher time frame is pretty bullish. Ooh. Okay. Man, it's going to be a lot harder to get an entry that I want here. So I'm going to go ahead and do something like this. All right. And I'm just going to bet on the fact that I'm going to hit the first draw and be able to go break even. and then use my protected stop at that 1 minute condition. I'm also protected by this condition right here, but that is the best one. So I'm obviously, looking for us to take this high, and then if we take that high, we have a chance to go to the next one. If not, all we're going to do is get break even. So we took the high. We're probably going to get break even here just based off of that 1 minute candle structure close. Oh, that's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. Ended up playing out. We just got very unlucky about the reaction from this wick. But, in live markets, I probably would have ended up getting break even again, maybe, because I normally set mine in profit. Right trade idea. It's just very unlucky right here, getting break even like that. There's really nothing I can do about that in backtesting. Maybe live markets would have been a little bit different, but yeah. Okay, so we are rejecting off of that high. And I'm looking to probably shift structure here to go that low. 1 hour is pretty bearish, and it's a little bit choppy in the recent hourlies. But this does look like a good target. We are running through this gap. And then obviously if I'm gonna go higher, I really have nothing. I mean, I have this 1 hour retrace, that's about it. So we can just see what we would be getting here. Damn, this month is pretty straightforward, bro. If I can take a short off of this, I will be completely willing to do that. If I cannot get a 1-to-1, then it's all okay. Yeah, cannot, not even close. So yeah, this trade, I'd assume that it plays out. If you guys would be risky, you could have a stop right there. But that's not the type of stop that I'd be willing to run. I'm assuming that this would play out to these lows, or maybe even reject off of one of these levels right here. But I am curious to see how this plays out. Yeah, so right trade idea. Obviously, live markets, I would have been able to get in somewhere around here, or maybe like right here, with my protected stop here. Again, targeting this. Pretty easy, pretty simple to read. Where the market wants to go. You guys have to think about on the higher time frames, when there's nothing stopping us, like around here, these areas, there's nothing stopping us from going any lower, right? So if we have good volume to one direction, we should be able to just completely flush. It is pretty easy. And if I don't take a lot of trades during this video, I hope you guys can just appreciate like what I'm saying and use it in y'all's real trades, because it's a lot different back testing than it is trading live markets and the things that you're able to take and the things that you're able to not take. Okay, so what I'm looking at, the 4 hour is completely chopped. I'm looking at to see this 1 hour inverse to go down to these lower levels. I'd probably go based off of what comes past this, and if not, again, I'm looking at here to signify this. And yeah, that's about it. But let's see. I'm expecting to immediately tap into this gap. Okay, we didn't. We're just shooting up. If I can get a 1-to-1 off of this, I'd be willing to take. Not a chance. Yeah, I mean, I'm not comfortable taking a trade with the stop right here. It's so different because live markets, I'd be in here with my stop loss here, targeting this, right? That's the ideal entry. What I don't want to see is a resweep of these lows just to continue higher. It's not probable, but it still could happen, and your trade idea could be valid. So I'm not going to take this, but it definitely, I definitely see it playing out. So let's see. Look, this is what I'm talking about. Hold on. Let's see if we would end up TPing. Nope. Okay. So yeah, most times where you're not comfortable, stop loss wise, your trade's probably not going to work, but it could, right? I would have got break even in this just based off of around here, me chopping around my entry. If I would have taken this live markets, I would have been in like around here-ish. And I'm thinking like, okay, we should continue that same bullish volume. Obviously, we'd be chopping around my entry here, and I wouldn't want to see that. So I would have just got break even. I'm very glad I did not take that trade. Good thought process. Okay, so 4 hour, we just swept what? We edged these lows. And then we kind of inverse this condition. I am not really expecting this retrace, but it could happen. 1 hour is starting to become bullish, while the 4 hour is still unsure. But I am going to use this bearish gap. If we run through it, I'd be willing to take something. I'll actually use this 5-minute one because it looks way cleaner. So we'll go ahead and set this one up. Okay, just chopping. At that point, we probably are going to get that retrace. Past that, I'd be looking at this hourly, but I don't think we end up coming up there. We're rejecting the retrace, actually. Not really any market direction. We ended up taking the first draw, and it's pretty choppy, guys. If you're looking at this from the 5-minute, it looks terrible. The 15-minute looks all right, but it's just really bad delivery. Like the 15 minutes kind of an illusion to what the lower time frame is. Okay, and then I'm looking at taking out this high and taking out this high. This looks pretty clean. The 4-hour is very, very clean. I'm looking to retrace into here if we're going to go bearish. I would prefer longs 9 out of 10 times here. So let's see if we can get a setup towards that. We do look pretty far. That is a lot of points. Ooh, okay. So with this, I think that you could play a protected stop like here and be able to TP. I will go ahead and take this right here and boom, we're gonna go break even at that point right there off of, I'm assuming we just took a high over here, yeah. And I think that this can play up to these levels. I'm gonna go ahead and de-risk a little bit here. Or not de-risk, but get myself in a little bit of profit. We should at least hold this. If not, we shouldn't come back down here. It doesn't really make any sense. So yeah, boom, TP. Let's see if we get a reaction off that level. Not really, kind of at the 1 minute. Wow, that is actually pretty beautiful. But yeah, that was a pretty simple trade. So basically just reading volume with the protected stop to a good hourly high, which is a great way to take your trades. Okay, let me get on the 4-hour here. Okay, so again, I'm looking to hold this bullish structure. We have edged this high 1, 2 times, so I'm not really expecting us to deliver to the second draw, but it is possible still. Structure's pretty bullish. 1 hour is kind of unsure, and then we don't really have anything on these semi-lower time frames, so I guess I can use this as my condition. I do want to go back to the 4-hour. Yeah, there's really nothing I'm going to target short. If I'm going to target something, it'd probably be in there, but it's within a 1 hour gap, so would not be willing to use it. I just really do not want to short here. Wow, this. I'm not gonna lie, I would be off. I'm not even gonna continue to skip candles. This is 30 minutes of just random stuff off of market open. So I would not continue to look at the chart here. We can see what plays, but I'm not gonna take anything. Because it's just improbable. Like, yeah, there's no reason we should be edging right there. Completely, respects my bias of wanting to long only. Holy moly. Oh, okay. So we've not had news not one time. Again, like I do not really want to use a draw like this. It's just not my kind of thing. But I can go ahead and use the low of this, and there's really no high. So I'll just use a 15-minute condition here to tell me if I'm going to continue higher or if we were going to follow that low that we just made. So we did end up ripping through that condition. I'm looking for one little retrace. But that retrace that I got obviously was the same size as same size retrace and displacement. So it's nothing that's going to make me convinced of any sort of direction, right? If we're sitting down here and we had really strong volume in here, and then all of a sudden we come into here and we just seem to just fail to deliver. Even if this plays out, like what could you have taken in here? Nothing, because everything looks the exact same. Look in the 5-minute, it looks really bad, really wicky. Nothing for you to even look at. And the draw, in my opinion, was not the best. 4-hour is extremely bullish. Not extremely. It's all right. And then we have this high here that's still not even technically created. And if we're gonna go lower, we're gonna go to these lows right here. This is the main target. So if we're gonna go lower, we should just see a complete dump, and really that's it. There's really nothing else. that we should be looking at here. And if we're going to go higher, I'd want to wait for the hourly to be confirmed because we did just inverse this, but obviously the trend is still on the 4 hour is still bullish. So, oh, that looks really great. I'm just not comfortable with it. The ideal trade here is this, and you're targeting here or this, and you're targeting here, and your stop loss is around here. I'm just not comfortable with it just because of the fact that we dumped and then we recovered. And I'm looking at the hourly and I'm looking at this. It's like, okay, yes, but we have not inversed anything bearish, so this could go sideways pretty quickly. Yeah, like that chop is unbearable. Yes, it eventually hits, but I can't sit here and tell you that I wouldn't have gone break even because this is just very sloppy. That's like what 20 minutes I think of nothing. What time is that from? 47 to 5. So yeah, almost 20 minutes of just nothing going on. So I can't sit there and tell you what I'm taking the trade. It is great that I was able to read the volume and read the direction of the market, but I'm not going to sit there and tell you guys that I would be able to take that one. Maybe it wouldn't have been like that. So again, 4 hours starting to shift direction. I am looking at these 1 hour lows here. And if we're going to go there, again, we're going to dump. And for here, I'm looking at this inverse of the 1 hour gap to literally confirm us to go bullish. And to those crappy highs that we have marked out, there's really nothing else I want to target. So yeah, we were reacting out of that 1 hour condition. You could definitely long this here. Stop, or your take profit would be here, and then you could use this. Pretty simple trade. Okay, we took the first draw. I'm gonna go ahead and de-risk, go break even, because we obviously, like, if we're taking the first draw, we have potential to reverse completely. And yeah, I would have got break even there too. So like, it is an unfortunate break even, but that would have happened regardless if you went break even when I went break even off of the displacement for the draw, or if you went break even up here, you would have got break even down here. So regardless of where you went, you're still correct about the market, but you know, things like this happen. There's really nothing you could have done to prevent that, unless you just didn't touch your stop loss. But I personally touched my stop loss. Weirdo. Okay, so we have nothing higher at all. So my only option right now is for me to go bearish, and retrace into this, which is going to be a complete higher time frame reversal. But that's really my only option. Now that does look really, really good. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the fact of us coming into this gap as my break even and go ahead and short this and have my stop. This is a lot of points. Have my stop here and just use that as my break even, unless that already touched it. Did we already come into that? I'm not sure, but that could make me lose this trade completely. Now it's making me kind of second guess myself, because this gap could completely reverse this trade, and it could have just been a sweep of these lows. And I'm gonna put out some more candles actually. Okay, now I'll be willing to short after I've seen displacement through those levels. I'll be willing to short this through here. We are not changing volume at all. Still the same old thing. Perfect. Good displacement. Great. Unfortunate. And then we end up. No way we. Wow, that volume is terrible. Holy volume. Yeah, so that's just unfortunate. I mean, again, nothing you could have done wrong or nothing you could have done better. You got break even, and that's okay. I mean, you're not always going to when you trade. This is a little bit of a crazy month. It kind of just reacts off of every level, and it doesn't give you anything. I'm gonna do one more, and we're gonna leave it at that. So I'm looking at these lows here. We are obviously still bearish. There's a little bit of a 4-hour retrace here. It's something that I care for that much, but I could still take a trade towards it. And then also lower, we have this hourly retrace. If we were to run through this gap, that's going to happen. So we can just see what goes on. I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but there's like no news. I don't know where the news is at. Why are these candles so small? What day is this? Hold on. I might be done. I think that's a holiday. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me. But I'm pretty sure that's why the candles are small. I'm gonna do a different one. There's lemonade all over my desk. Okay, so I'm looking at this level here and this level here. We just had swept out these highs right here, and I think we can just completely fall back to those lows. I don't see anything that would prevent us from doing that. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark this 5-minute. I'm gonna delete this. Everybody say go San Antonio Spurs. I hope they go to the finals. Okay, we are completely just running everything. The only thing that I would want to look at is the same 4-hour retrace. I mean, very sloppy delivery. I guess, like, I don't know. If you're gonna take this, you would have. I mean, you would have nothing. There's nothing to base this off of. Holy shit! Good job. Is this the reversal of the century? You could snipe. All right, this is what I'm gonna leave it off at. We're gonna snipe this. This is at least gonna break even me, I'd assume, just because we rejected these highs. If this loses, whatever. Don't really care. I would not take this trade in live markets. Just so y'all know that this is just for fun. But we're gonna see how good I am. Okay, take the first draw. Boom. Oh, what a snipe. Hold on. What a snipe. Am I tough? Hold on, I'm tough. Oh, I'm not tough. I'm a faker. I'm a fraud. I'm a loser. Wow. All right, guys. That's gonna wrap it up. I hope you guys learned something from this video. If you guys didn't learn anything, leave a dislike on this video and comment that I'm a loser. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. I will make sure to answer them in the comments or in the Discord. If you guys need a mentor, obviously I'm here to mentor you guys. Not selling a course for you. I'm not promoting. I do sell a course. I'm not promoting my course. But if you guys are interested, that is also a tool. My YouTube videos are free on YouTube, obviously, and then there are some videos on Discord as well. Let me know if you guys have any questions. If not, see you later. If you guys made it to the end of this video, comment Gatorade. See you guys later. Peace.